Valley Club, you knew Hitmonkey was on the way. You voted for Hitmonkey. You also knew that there was rumors about a Vigilante team coming. We saw some data mines about the Professor X saga mentioning a Vigilante team. Well, now we got the kits for the Vigilante team. We're gonna reveal the kits for a new Daredevil, Silver Sable, and Hitmonkey. Also reworks to Punisher, Electra, and I do want to discuss some of the backlash about Overdrive. And if you're ready for it, Valley Club, you know what to do. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. Hope you're having an excellent day. In this video, we're revealing the Vigilante team. They're going to be required for a new raid, and they look to be the best team to unlock Professor X, at least for that city section. And if you get some value from this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content. Ring the notification bell if you want to get notified as soon as a new video goes up. We have at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week on this channel. But I do want to discuss the Overdrive system. So yeah, on its surface, I thought it was something totally different. I thought it was something that would benefit if you were underpowered, had a way to punch up and things like that. That is exactly the opposite of what it was. Now, they did make that available to the envoys to be able to test that. Unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of time to test a lot of stuff unless I can make a video on things right away. I didn't see a lot of negative feedback from the envoys, so I don't know. It doesn't sound good on its surface, you know, making teams even stronger, but I don't know, diamonds didn't sound good on its surface. Red stars didn't sound good, and red stars actually weren't very good, but I don't know. I'm kind of a wait and see. Let's see how it is when we actually play this thing. It doesn't sound good, but I don't know. We'll see, guys. And before we go to the blog post, I do want to mention the data mines from last week. Now, didn't make a video on this because I was out of town and I kind of missed this, but we says Professor X coming soon, and what it recommends for the first section, the city section, any city section, it recommends Vigilante. So the Vigilante tag, Blade and Oath. So probably the 3 new members of the Vigilante, Blade and Oath, are going to be the easiest way to get into the city. But as we've had with some previous Dark Dimensions, you always have to do what is going to be the most effective and give you the most value later on. I think though both the Vigilante and Blade and Oath do fit that criteria because they are raid characters. And then what are the cheapest characters, the easiest that will just get you in? I don't know if they're going to fit that criteria. It's going to be based on everybody's roster, but let's go take a look at their kits for the new characters, the Vigilante. They don't carry badges, and law enforcement has orders to arrest them on sight, but you won't find a tougher, braver bunch of knockdown. The rest, like the Vigilante team. This lethal squad of crime fighters is composed of a modern Daredevil, so I guess this new Daredevil that they have on the screen there, Silver Sable. The community voted Hitmonkey along with Punisher and Electra, some reworks as well. So they're going to be offensive team and set their sights on skill raids, so the new skill raid team. So they'll be replacing the Spider Society, who's already been losing value. I do still recommend building a POV, but maybe not investing so much in Penny and Peter B at this point. They're going to be there for the upcoming raid, and like we mentioned in the data mines, they're suggested for that Professor unlock, at least for that city section there. So they're going to be vulnerable now with even more benefits. So enemies with vulnerable always been victim to increased damage and attacks, but with the Vigilante team, vulnerables become even greater strategic advantage. The new Vigilante recruits not only make enemies that are vulnerable pay, but reward their allies for passing the battle, pasting the battlefield with it. All right, so Daredevil Modern. He heals himself and Vigilante allies whenever an enemy with vulnerable is attacked. Even more so in the race, he lowers the damage of all enemies with vulnerable when he's on offense. Silver Sable, when an enemy with vulnerable is attacked, she fills the speed bar for herself and Vigilante allies. So speed bar manipulator, always great in a turn-based RPG. And Hitmonkey, when an enemy with vulnerable takes a turn, his health is full. If his health is full, he attacks the enemy with the highest health, ignoring taunt, stealth for piercing, and then applies more vulnerable. You also gain crit damage if any enemy has vulnerable, and for each enemy that has vulnerable, he gains crit chance. Now, these new recruits apply plenty of vulnerable outside of ISO 8s to help the team as a whole. They can make their attacks extra painful with vulnerable, hang over teams, over a target's head, not of a team's head, a target's head. Offensive machines. Even though the Vigilantes are a skill raid team, their traits and kits help set them up to pound enemies while gaining offense across other modes. So it does look like they're single tagged. As Spider Society, one of the benefits for them was they did have double tags that you could use in the raids and for leveling up events like this race to 100. But looks like the Vigilante team single tag target. So offensive bonuses, Daredevil, Modern, Silver Sable have offensive bonuses to reduce the enemy potency. Taunt and terrorize the man without fear Daredevil absorbs enemies' attacks with his taunts via his special, ultimate, and passive abilities, while the rest of his teams utilize multi-target attacks to mow down raid waves and clobber teams. Sounds like something that Thing would do. Hitmonkey allows the squad to reload quickly by dishing out ability energy when enemies are eliminated. So that is what they do. Let's go to the individual kits. Daredevil Modern, Hero, City, Skill, Protector, Vigilante, and one of the most valuable things there is probably that City tag for that Professor X and that skill tag for the raids coming up. Speed, 108. Basic, Assault and Battery. I like that name. All right. Attack the primary target, 280% damage. Rebound change to 2 additional targets for 280% damage. Flip 3 negative effects to positive effects on self and all Vigilante allies. ISO 8 counterattack will do very similar things, attacking primary target, 158% damage instead, 17% piercing, and then flipping 3 negative effects to positive effects on self and Vigilante allies, so it still does have that flipping the positive effects effect on the ISO counter assist chance. Special, energy cost 4 to 4 called Law and Order, applying slow for 2 turns, defense down for 2 turns, offense down for 2 turns to the primary target, attacking the primary target. So I hope this is the order of operations. Well, if it's your Daredevil, I hope it's your order of operations. If it's the enemy one, I don't. But defense down for 2 turns, offense down for 2 turns, primary target. So they'll have that defense down, and then I hope the order of operations gives him to attack that primary target 300% damage. Bonus attacking for 300% damage as well. In the raids, it gets even better. It should, because this is a raid team. Flipping all negative effects into positive effects on self and Vigilante allies, then heal self and all Vigilante allies for 15% of his character's max health. Gain taunt for 2 turns, defense up for 2 turns. All right, so good character in the raids, good taunter. Ultimate is witness protection. Energy cost 4 out of 6. Attacking the primary and adjacent targets, 380% damage, applying +1 vulnerable up to a maximum of 5. You're also going to gain, oh, I like that it applies vulnerable. Gain, clear all negative effects for self and all allies. Gain taunt for 2 turns. Applying defense up for 2 turns and immunity for 2 turns to self and all Vigilante allies. You're going to heal self and all Vigilante allies for 20% of this character's max health. They seem like they're going to be pretty good outside the raids as well. At least that's my initial impression of the passive. There we are. Born Again, it's the name of the series. All right, on spawn, if this character has 4 or more Vigilante allies, so full team, gain taunt for 2 turns and safeguard for 1 turn. You're also going to apply 2 deflect, defense up for 2 turns, immunity for 1 turn to self and all Vigilante allies, and that is on spawn, the way I'm reading it here. When an enemy with vulnerable is attacked, heal self and all Vigilante allies for 5% of this character's max. Ooh, whoa. When an enemy with vulnerable is attacked, I like it. All right, for 5% of this character's max health. In the raids, heal for 20%. Oh my goodness, jeez. They're not gonna die in the raids. They're just, jeez. Heal for 20% instead, clear 1 negative effect from self with all Vigilante allies. Man, if they have a vulnerable, they're just gonna be healing all the time. Just heal that enemy 5 times, and then you're gonna heal 20%. Yeah, full health if you're almost there. All right, Vigilante allies, 100% accuracy. I like that. Daredevil should already have 200%, so this gives them an extra one. That means that they can't be blinded either when Daredevil's on the field. Gain 25% block chance per Vigilante allies, 15% block chance, or per block amount per Vigilante allies. If this character has 4 or more Vigilante allies, and this character and all Vigilante allies cannot gain bleed. All right, full team. One of that persists after their death. And on offense, if this character has 4 or more Vigilante allies, lower the damage amount of enemies when vulnerable by 30%. This will not stack with other effects such as offense down. Right, so good. Seems like a pretty good, strong character. Let's move on to Silver Sable, Hero, City, Skill, Blaster, Mercenary, Spider-Verse Vigilante, Speed 128, Basic as point blank, attack the primary target, 310% damage, flipping 3 positive effects into negative effects. I like it. Nice, simple, good. The ISO counter assist is very simple as well. Attack the primary target, 264% damage, 17% piercing. Also still flipping those 3 positive effects into negative effects as well. The special, energy cost 5 out of 5. Insurgent protocol. Energy cost is 5 of it. Yeah, so you can start with this on turn 1. Into raids, clearing barrier from all enemies. I guess it's all barrier, right? Not a certain percent. Flipping all positive effects into negative effects on the primary and adjacent targets. Attack the primary adjacent targets, 280% damage. Apply slow and 2 bleeds. That's it. Simple. Okay. We're moving on to the ult, and it gets a little complicated with the ult. Little wordy here. Flash and clear, so also able to use this on turn 1, 6 out of 6 for the energy cost. Applying heal block for 2 turns, disrupted for 2 turns to all enemies. Clearing barrier from all enemies in the raids. You're gonna clear charge from all enemies on offense if the character has 4 or more vigilante allies. So a lot of this stuff is the full vigilante team. I guess the good thing is that means that on a full team, they will have a lot of these effects outside the raids as well. If they have 4 more vigilante allies, reduce the duration of all positive effects by 2 on all enemies. Attack all enemies, 320% damage, plus applying a vulnerable up to a maximum 5 in the raids. Ooh, that is strong. Trauma for 2 turns to all enemies. Applying ability by 2 turns to 2 random support enemies. So we'll do nothing if there's no support enemies on the field. But yeah, that's a good one if they do have support enemies. And this attack gains 500% extra focus, cannot be counterattacked, and it doesn't have that little bullet point there. So I think that's outside of the raids as well. The passive Silver Merc in the raids on spawn, fill speed by 15% plus 5% per vigilante ally for self and all vigilante allies. And when an enemy that has vulnerables attack, fill speed by 15% for self and all vigilante allies. Man, so they're gaining speed bar, they're gaining health in the raids when a vulnerables attack. Yeah, these guys are like unkillable in the raids. Which on the downside, if you get a full vigilante team on defense and you got raid rules on and like a trial or something, they're going to be hard to kill as well. So remember that if you're facing one of them. On successful attack by this character, apply defense down to each targeted each attack target. On offense, when this character has 4 or more vigilante allies, lower enemy dodge chance by 100%. No dodging. All right, so that's a way to counter like Spider-Verse and stuff like that. I bet the new raids, you're gonna have a lot of Spider-Verse enemies, lots of dodge, so you're gonna need this team probably. If this character has 4 or more vigilante allies, enemies cannot gain death proof. All right, that's good. All right, Hit Monkey, the character that we voted for. Hero, City, Skill, Blaster, Vigilante, Speed 127, Macaque Attack. It's a funny name. Attack the primary target, 300% damage. Applying bleed for 2 turns. If this character has 4 or more vigilante allies, prolong the duration of all negative effects by 1 up to a maximum of 3. The ISO counter assist, attacking the primary target, 254% damage, 17% piercing. Applying bleed for 2 turns. So there's a lot of that stuff. Full vigilante team, prolong the duration of all negative effects by 1 up to a maximum of 3. So still there's a lot of that stuff from the basic there. Special, monkeying around, energy cost 4 to 4. Attacking a primary target, 250% damage, applying vulnerable, plus 1 up to a maximum of 5. Prolong the duration of all negative effects by 1 up to a maximum of 3. Sounds good so far, but only his primary target. All right, here's a chain. 4 adjacent targets within 2 spaces of the previous target, 250% damage, 1 vulnerable up to maximum of 5. So still applying vulnerables, I like it. Prolong the duration of all negative effects up by 1 up to a maximum of 3. So this is not one of those chains that goes through the taunt, which would be the better version of it. It's the normal version. Attack gains 25% crit damage against targets that have vulnerable. Counterattack does not break this chain. Assassinate? Is that what it is? Assassinate is the name of the ultimate. Injury cost 6 out of 6. Attacking the primary target, 300% piercing. Applying stun for 1 turn, trauma for 2 turns. Bonus attack the enemy with the highest damage, ignoring taunt and stealth for 300% piercing in the raids. Applying stun for 1 turn, trauma for 2 turns. Gets even stronger. All right, applying speed up for 1 turn, offense up for 2 turns to self and all vigilante allies. Gaining 1,000 extra focus for this attack. And the passive, Saru Assassin. So Saru, I think, is the name of monkey in Japanese. I think that is. I took Japanese a long time ago. I was really good at it, but I haven't used it for over 20 years. So I think that's what a monkey is. So on turn, any enemy with vulnerable turn, vulnerable turn. If this character's health is full, attack the enemy with the highest health, ignoring taunt and stealth, 200% piercing. Apply +1 vulnerable to a maximum of 5. So yeah, he's gonna get attacked when they do it. Just like the description said, if this character's health is not full, heal self for 10% of this character's max health. So he gets a self heal if a character with vulnerable takes a turn and he does not have full health, but hopefully he will be at full health from that passive from Daredevil. Also, where were we? On enemy death, generate 1 ability energy for self, and in the raid, generate 1 ability energy for all Vigilante allies. So this is stuff that he's not going to do, that he will do if nobody dies or doesn't have vulnerable. When an enemy has vulnerable, 25% crit damage. For each enemy that has vulnerable, 5% crit chance up to a maximum of 25%. This character has 4 or more Vigilante allies. Non-mythic enemies cannot have their speed increased except by positive effects. All right, so looking good, looking strong, and oh my goodness, I just saw the increased stats for Punisher. I guess the stats from post Ares got super crazy, and when he was on that Shadowland team, I guess it was just a minor boost. All right, let's go. It looks very strong. Base stat increase, health 729%, damage 392%, armor 400%, focus but not 602%. Resistance stat up by 557, speed stat up to 115. Were they going super exact with these stats? What are these numbers? They're like some very specific numbers here. Let me know in the comments, why do you think they have specific numbers like this for Punisher? Did they really test the crap out of this thing? The basic, the old did attack the primary target 240%. Let's just read the new. It's going to attack the primary target 260% piercing, so not adding that additional piercing there. It's going to change to 2 adjacent targets for 260% piercing. So this got a lot better, a lot stronger, in addition to all those upgraded stats there. So when this goes live in the game, this guy is going to be strong. Special grenade launcher. It's going to transfer 3 positive effects, excluding taunt, from the primary target to self, all Vigilante allies, and all military allies. So I like that he's still extending to military. I guess he did get a rework for the skill military since the Shadowland team. But it was just 1. Now it's 3. Attacking the primary target, 260% piercing. So doing pretty much all piercing damage so far that I've seen. Instead of some damage and some piercing. Going to attack adjacent enemies, 260% piercing as well. The ultimate, if this character has 4 more Vigilante allies, clearing all barrier from all enemies, and then doesn't need to be in war. You're just going to attack the primary target, 250% piercing. You can attack all enemies, 250% piercing. So just a better ultimate altogether. And what is new about the passive? It looks like what they did was just extend a lot of the city heroes to vigilantes, because I guess all the vigilantes are going to be city heroes anyways. So city heroes there, the vigilante or defender allies, when they use their special ability to attack the most injured enemy, 125% piercing. So he just does a lot of damage, a lot of extra attacks going on from Hitmonkey. On hit vulnerable, in the raise, apply bleeds. Yeah, so just a lot of extension from the city heroes to vigilantes as well. Electra got a big stat upgrade. Doesn't seem as big as Punisher, but very exact stats here also. Why do you think they made these such specific stats? Electra's health went up by 554%, damage went up by 414, armor 593, focus up by 594, resistance up by 534. The basic, now it's going to attack the primary target, 250% damage, and applying 2 bleeds, so more damage, more bleeds, 1000% extra focus for this attack, and you're just doing those bleeds. So losing 1 bleed of the target defender, but still gaining the extra focus. You don't have to have Shadowland or defender allies for that extra focus to be there. The special, Into the Shadow, and attack the primary target 300%, goes up to piercing damage now. You're also going to apply 2 vulnerables, so sticking with that theme of the team, up to a maximum of 5, clearing 5 positive effects as well. So instead of clearing 2 to 3 positive effects, now clearing 5 positive effects. The ultimate, you're gonna, let's just read the new one. Clearing barrier from the primary target. In the raid, 25% damage per negative effect on the primary target. Attack the primary target, 500% damage plus 20% piercing, plus applying disrupted for 2 turns. So a little bit less. It was 600, goes down to 5, but you're getting all this extra stuff here. 500% extra focus if the primary target has 3 vulnerables in the raids. This target deals double damage. Ooh, if it has 3 vulnerables, extra damage by double. That could be crazy big. On kill, fills speed bar by 80%, and that was not there before as well. Getting an extra speed bar with kill. This could be very big. This could be like his self-imposed BKT with him just killing and doing more damage, because a lot of kills from that ultimate, especially if they have that overpower. Overpower is not going to be the raids. Anyway, Death Grace is the passive, and now on spawn, it looks like it extended the Shadowland bonuses and hand bonuses to other allies as well. Evade to self and adjacent Vigilante, Shadow, and Land and Hand allies. In the raids, 5 ability energy for self and Vigilante allies. So you don't need to worry about your cooldowns with this team. Man, this team is super overpowered in the raids. I just worry about them if we have to face some enemy Vigilante allies in the raids, or enemies in the raids. On death, 15% chance to revive with 100% of this character's max health. That is big. It used to be 20%, so she's not going to be almost dead when she comes back to life. 4 more Shadowland or Vigilante allies gain 85% chance. It goes up even more, 85% chance to revive on death. So that is not on the raids. Oh yeah, so that goes from 15 to 85, but yeah, definitely going to be 100% to revive. But as usual, everything that we said in this video is subject to change, because everything from this advanced blog is also subject to change. So let me know what you think of this new Vigilante team. Are you gonna invest right away, or are you gonna wait till they're farmable? Let me know what you think of this new Overdrive system. And if you want to see what are the best characters in Marvel Strike Force right now, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out!